In 1977, a small factory in Colvin, Leicester got to work on something that would change the lives of countless people. Little did they realise that people were still caring enough 40 years later to sit and listen to a guy waffle on about that product. This is the Star Wars Toy Podcast. Hello there. Yes, this is episode 33 of the Star Wars Toy Podcast. I'm Darth Mark. It's a bit later this week because I'm going to be talking about the New York Toy Fair reveals. But before that, as always, we have this.
The Star Wars Tracker Report.
Yes, this is a Star Wars Tracker Report, and this is the market activity from the 8th of February to the 14th of February. Starting off with the top 5 accessories. At number 5, we have the Land Speeder. Kenner, Star Wars B, missing a long play logo, and that was sold in the United States for $410. Number 4, we have Ewok Village. Kenner, Return of the Jedi A, Endor Scene, sold in the United States, $431. Number 3, we have a 12-inch Han Solo on a Kenner Star Wars A picture box, sold in the United States, $599. Number 2, we have a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, a PBP Empire Strikes Back A stationary shot, sold in Spain for €867. At number 1, we have the Twin Pod Clout Car, another PBP this time, Empire Strikes Back A, Snow Scene, also sold in Spain for €907. On to the top 5 loose figures now. At number 5, we have R2-D2 Pop-Up Lightsaber, Kenner, sold in the United States for $468. Number 4, we have a Blue Snaggletooth with Dent AFA 80, Kenner, United States, $510. Number 3, we have a C-3PO Droids version, UKG 80, a Kenner, but that was sold in the United Kingdom for £410. At number 2, we have R2-D2 Droids. This is Kenner again, but this one was sold in the United States, $550. At number 1, we have Luke Skywalker DT Saber, Kenner, and that was sold in the United States for $812. That's quite a good bargain for a DT Saber Luke. Not quite as rare as the Vader and indeed the Ben Kenobi, which is the rarest of the DT Sabers, but still very sought after by collectors. And the final category again is the mock figures. So at number 5, we have Imperial Stormtrooper AFA 85 on a Kenner Star Wars 20A card. That was sold in the United States for $859. Number 4, Luke Skywalker Imperial Stormtrooper outfit AFA 80 on a Clipper Return of the Jedi 70A card, sold in the United States for $912. At number 3, Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot AFA 85 on a Kenner Star Wars 21A card, sold in the United States for $935. Number 2, we have a pop-up lightsaber R2-D2 and a Palatoy Return of the Jedi 70D card, and this was sold in the Netherlands, Holland to you and me, for $1,125. But at number 1, we have R2-D2 Solid Dome on a Lily Ledy Return of the Jedi 12A card, and that was sold in the United States for $5,383. And I'm just looking at the pictures of that now. The card's bent, the bubble's a bit crushed, but it looks beautiful. The picture on the card is absolutely fantastic, and the back of the card is all in black and white. It's animated figures and ships. There's a Snowspeeder, a TIE Fighter, and a few loose figures, but it's absolutely brilliant. So rare. To find one of these Mexican Lily Ledy cards is such a treat and so rare. I'm going to put some pictures up on Twitter of this card just for you to have a look. If you want to have a look at my Twitter, it's at Star Wars Toy Pod. So they'll be on there with other things that I put up there. So check it out. And that's the Star Wars tracker for this week. If you want to get the Star Wars tracker for yourself, head over to www.starwarstracker.com.
Any for your thoughts?
So, as you may or may not know, this weekend has been the New York Toy Fair. And this is an event that is getting more and more popular It's getting more and more press. I think this is the first year that Hasbro has actually live streamed from the event. And to be honest with you, I think I'd rather go to one of these than a Comic-Con. But I'd certainly need to extend that credit card. And this is, as you know, is a Star Wars toy podcast. But I am considering knowing other items, other products. Looking at the stuff that was coming out of this toy fair, the Ghostbusters, the He-Man, the G.I. Joe, everything that's being released it's amazing. The Ghostbusters, it's gotten really popular, and there's some amazing things. I think I'm going to have to be collecting some of that. If you watch my videos on YouTube, you'll see that I went to Forbidden Planet this week, and I was looking at the He-Man, because I've been looking at He-Man figures and thinking I should actually collect some of those, but they were £30, and I'm looking at the vintage online, and I'd prefer vintage anyway, so why would I pay £30 for something brand new that I'm going to keep in a box or on the card or whatever? And why would I pay for something brand new when I can buy vintage? I can buy a job lot for the same price. But looking at some of the Ghostbusters merchandise, they're re-releasing the vintage figures like they've done with the Star Wars Retro Collection, which I'll mention in a bit. But they have another line where they're going like the Black Series 6-inch. They've done those before, but they're doing them in more like Black Series packaging now, which I may pick up if they're at a reasonable price. But they're also doing a kiddie animated version. I don't know what it is with Hasbro, but they seem to be throwing lines out. And it's something I've mentioned before, so I won't go into it now. But all in all, there's some really good lines out there, and it seems like the toy business is in good hands, especially with Hasbro, and that's a good job, as I will talk about later. But we are a Star Wars toy podcast for now. No, I'm not going to change it, don't worry. So I'm going to talk about some of these Star Wars items that have come through at the toy fair. Starting off with the Black Series, and the first thing is something that is already in the shops and we already know about. They revealed it on this live stream, but it is something I'm really looking forward to finding myself. Hopefully Forbidden Planet might get it in this country. And that is the Imperial Probe Droid Deluxe figure. I can't remember if I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I'm getting old, I'm 50 tomorrow, so please do forgive me. It does say it's available spring 2020, and so we know it's already out. The retail price is $30. They celebrate 40 years of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, with this Star Wars The Black Series Imperial Probe Droid Deluxe figure. Star Wars fans and collectors can display this highly posable figure, featuring 5 fully articulated limbs and premium decor, and an included stand in the action figure and vehicle collection. Includes a figure and display stand, available at most retailers. As I said, I'm quite interested in this figure, but to be honest with you, there's not a lot there. You're just getting the Probe Droid. It'd be nice if you're packaged with something else, but the box is quite nice. It does say Empire Strikes Back on the front, and the 40th anniversary, which is really, really special. And also talking about the 40th anniversary of the Empire Strikes Back and Black Series, we have the 40th anniversary Black Series Empire Strikes Back line. I think you know that one coming. This is also available in spring 2020, and the retail price is $19.99. Yeah, be lucky to get it at that price. Imagine the biggest battles and missions in the Star Wars saga with figures from Star Wars The Black Series with exquisite features and decoration. This series embodies the quality and realism of Star Wars devotees' love. Commemorate the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back with figures from the Star Wars The Black Series. How many times I'm going to say that? Featuring movie-inspired design and detail and vintage packaging from the original Kenner branding. Star Wars fans and collectors can display these highly posable figures, featuring premium decor inspired by the characters of The Empire Strikes Back in their original figure collections. Characters in this assortment including Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Yoda, R2-D2, and more. It says and more. Each figure sold separately, available at most retailers. So I'm assuming to mean that they may do a second wave of these. That'll be quite interesting because we've not got the Boba Fett and we've not got the Bounty Hunters, which they may come out as a 5-pack maybe. That'd be quite interesting. That's just conjecture. It's just something I'm thought about the top of my head. So we're getting a TIE Fighter pilot, which looks pretty cool. I mean, these are a lot of just repacks, apart from the Hoth Trooper, Rebel Hoth Trooper, which looks pretty cool. I might get that one because that's totally different from anything you've seen before. The Attack Driver, Yoda, which I really like. Lando, which again is a repack. The Bespin Han, which is quite nice, and the card that's also been one of the best cards. We've got a Luke Rebel pilot again, but this is the Empire Strikes Back Snowspeeder version. For why, I'll tell you in a minute. The Leia Hoth, which looks pretty cool. Leia looks cool in any figure. The R2-D2, which is not a repack. It's got like discoloration from Dagobah, so it's got like moss all over it. So it's a different R2-D2 sculpt this time. Well, maybe not sculpt, but colouring anyway. And the Bespin Luke. Now the Bespin Luke, they've changed the picture on the card back, and it looks terrible. I don't know what they've done with it, but I'm hoping they'll change that. But to be honest with you, that is the one I'm going to try and get anyway. And I may have to get the pilot Luke as well, because what I'm going to talk about next is something that you're going to need to have that Luke for, and it is the Black Series Snowspeeder. Yes, they're doing another vehicle at last, and it's this Snowspeeder. How big that going to be? And it's going to feature Dak Raltar. So you'll have the two pilots, if you get that Luke, to put in the front of it. So it's Luke's Snowspeeder with Dak in the back. Dak in the back. And forgive me if I'm repeating a lot of this thing, because I'm reading this from the press release. So it's coming out in summer 2020, and the retail price is $120. That seems really cheap for something that's going to be quite big. That TIE Fighter was absolutely massive, and that was about $180, I think, when it first came out. So yeah, $120 is not that bad, to be honest with you. But it may be one of the vehicles I wait till it gets reduced. Maybe it won't get reduced to the level of the Luke's Land Speeder, or indeed the TIE Fighter, but one can hope. Featuring a 2-crew cockpit, retractable landing gear, a harpoon, and a tow cable. Star Wars fans and collectors can display this vehicle and highly posable figure, featuring 4 fully articulated limbs and a premium decor in the action figure vehicle range. Enclosed vehicle, figure, and accessory. Available at Hasbro Pulse, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, and the Big Bad Toy Store. Now, I tried to order something from Entertainment Earth. I tried to order the retro figures that I didn't get last time. Yeah, they're back in stock, so I thought I'd put them in my basket, and it said $50 shipping. So you're paying more, well, nearly enough more for the figures than for the shipping. So I thought, I'll put something else in. So I pre-ordered the child figure, and the shipping went to $100. So yeah, I didn't pull the trigger on those. So maybe I'll look elsewhere for those. I can't look at Hasbro Pulse because they don't do it in UK for some reason. We know the UK is a ginger stepchild for Star Wars, so we shouldn't be really surprised about that. Even though the film was actually made here, Amazon might be a place to look at. And don't know about the Big Bad Toy Store, but I'll check that out. And I've also been told to look at the Dark Side toys, not the Dark Side toys, obviously. Don't get ripped off by them. The Dark Side toys. So I'll be checking those out. I might do a piece on those in a future podcast. Next up in the Black Series, we have Darth Revan's Force FX Elite Lightsaber. This is available in autumn of 2020, or fall, if you're from America. Retail price is $225. Combining advanced LEDs and video game-inspired sound effects, the Force FX Elite Lightsaber is the most realistic Force FX lightsaber yet. The real metal hilt on the Star Wars The Black Series Darth Revan Force FX Elite Lightsaber features design and decor based on Darth Revan's iconic lightsaber featured in the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic video game. Press buttons on the hilt to activate sound effects. Progressive ignition, whatever that is. Blaster deflection effects, that's pretty cool. wall cutting effects. Ooh. And purple to red colour changing blade effects. Proudly display this lightsaber on the included stand, with or without the removable blades. And show off the included removable kyber crystal. Includes lightsaber, barrel plug, removable kyber crystal, and instructions. Requires 3 1.5 volt AA batteries, not included. Available at most retailers. Now I do have a few lightsabers, but it's the ones I've picked up in charity stores, believe it or not, for like £1. I've got Darth Vader's, I've got Kylo Ren's, and I've got Anakin Luke's Rey's one. Now these two me. I don't think I'd be paying $225 for a lightsaber that I'll just probably put on the wall, to be honest with you. It's cool, it does look cool, I do like it. If I could get it a lot cheaper, I will get it, but it's not something that's top on my list. If you are a Darth Revan cosplayer, definitely you're going to get it, aren't you? He's definitely a cool character, as the figures that have come out and sold out have shown, and he's very popular. And indeed, there are some very cool features on this lightsaber. And it shows to me that Hasbro are really thinking out the box, which bodes well for the future. So here from the Black Series now, and on to the Star Wars Retro Collection, 3.75-inch figure assortment. Available spring 2020, and the retail price is $10. Kids and collectors alike can imagine the biggest battles and missions in the Star Wars saga with the figures from the Star Wars Retro Collection. With exquisite features and decoration, this series embodies the quality and realism that Star Wars devotees love. The Star Wars Retro Collection includes figures and games from the 40-plus year legacy of the Star Wars galaxy. These 3.75-inch scale Star Wars Retro Collection figures are detailed to look like the characters from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, featuring multiple points of articulation, 5 hopefully, and characters in this assortment include Luke Skywalker Bespin, Han Solo Hoth, Princess Leia Hoth, Yoda, Boba Fett, and Lando Calrissian. Each figure is sold separately, available at Walmart. So the last collection was a Target exclusive, I do believe, and this is going to be a Walmart exclusive. So that might mean that the last wave did actually turn up at Asda over here. And I'm hoping that these will too, because I really want that Bespin look. The picture looks a lot better on this one than it does on the Black Series 40th anniversary. And I'd like the Yoda and the Leia. Well, and Hoth. All of them, really. The Lando is the no teeth Lando, but maybe they will do a teeth Lando as well. Maybe Hasbro. The Boba Fett is on the Empire Strikes Back card, obviously. And will probably be the more popular one, with the Luke Bespin, of course. The cards themselves will still have that distressed look, but apparently they'll be different on each card. And the Retro Collection sticker has been enlarged to feature different languages now too, so there you go. Not all good news. It's surprising there's only 6 again, because there are a lot of characters from the Empire Strikes Back line. They've missed a lot of characters from the Star Wars line, to be honest with you. The Boba Fett could have been a start on the Star Wars line, so they could have added an extra character on the Empire Strikes Back, but who knows what they're thinking at Hasbro. I mean, they've got the 10 for the 40th anniversary Black Series, but you've only got 6 for the Retro Collection. I'm hoping that they will do another wave. On the live stream for the Hasbro panel, it did say 96 figures, or something about 96. So we can only hope that that will bring all the 96 in the Retro Collection. That'd be pretty cool, but I doubt if they'll ever do that. It might have been to do with the Vintage Collection or something like that. That's more likely, as they seem to be putting more effort into that and the Black Series, which is fair enough, because as I said, there are too many lines. There's also one more thing in the Retro Collection that looks fairly cool. It's the one thing that I don't think it actually came out in the UK, is the Empire Strikes Back Hoth Ice Planet adventure game. I can't remember actually ever seeing it on the shelves, and I got the Escape from the Death Star original game, and I got it for the Tarkin, and I'll probably get this one for the Luke pilot that comes with it. Again, it is the Snowspeeder version from the Empire Strikes Back, which is pretty cool. It is, again, a figure that we didn't get in the line, the original vintage line, but like with Tarkin, the Tarkin we really needed. We didn't really need this updated version of Luke Pilot. We could have had something different. They could have actually made it as a pilot, as Wedge, and that would make a lot more sense. The figure itself comes with a grappling gun, which I didn't recognise at first, which is pretty good actually. It'd have been something nice to have for that vintage AT-AT. And a blue lightsaber. Now these blue lightsabers are quite rare. Not very rare, but I hope these aren't going to flood the market now. So this is a game for 2 to 4 players. Retails a price at $25 and will be available 27th of April 2020. Bring back memories with this retro edition of Hoth Ice Planet Adventure board game. Well, bring memories for me because I can remember it in first place. The game is based on the original board game from Kenner, released in 1980, and features artwork-inspired events from the second Star Wars movie. The edition of the board game includes an exclusive Snowspeeder action figure. Fans can relive Star Wars moments from The Empire Strikes Back as they imagine travelling around the dangerous ice planet Hoth and become a Jedi Knight. Using wits and the Force, players are challenged to battle with the 4 fearsome enemies that find along the way throughout the adventures on the ice planet Hoth. Who can defeat the most evil villain the Empire can send against them? Gather the Force to fight and defeat Darth Vader for the win. Available online and at specialist retailers. Next up we have the Star Wars Vintage Collection. And first up is a 3 3/4 inch Luke Skywalker in Jedi Knight outfit. It will retail for $12.99, that's dollars, and be available in autumn 2020. Highly posable with realistic detail, this figure also features original Kenner branding and can be displayed in action figures and vehicle collections, including figure and 2 accessories. The blaster and the lightsaber, I would have thought. That's really, should be 3 accessories, shouldn't it, with the cape? Anyway, it's available at most major retailers. Also coming out is the Power Droid, or the Gonk Droid, whichever way you want to call it. That is also retail in at $12.99, be available in fall 2020. Not a lot of vintage collection news really, but this next thing seemed to excite a lot of people. I don't really know why, and I'll explain that after I've mentioned it. And it is the Vintage Collection Boba Fett Slave 1 vehicle. The retail price is $150, which is one of my issues, and available in spring of 2020. With original Kenner branding and realistic detail, including an opening cockpit, functioning landing gear, separating wings, and a ladder accessory. This vehicle can be displayed in action figure and vehicle collections, including vehicle stand, Han Solo in Carbonite, and instructions. Available Hasbro Pulse, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, and Big Bad Toy Store. Now, the issue I have with this is it's not really moulded on the vintage Slave 1. It's $150. Now, if you go look on eBay or your local vintage toy store, wherever you want to go, you'll be able to find a vintage Slave 1 for a lot less than that, boxed. I mean, I put a question up on Twitter asking if you collected the vintage collection, do you open it, your packaging? And most said no, they keep them on the cards, in the boxes, things like that. Because it got me to thinking, if you're collecting vintage collection figures and you're opening them, they're more usually than a vintage figure by itself. So why just not collect vintage? I know they're better quality and better sculpting, better articulation, everything like that. And I can understand if you're making dioramas, things like that. But if you're just doing it as a collection and you're opening these, and I just don't understand. Just go buy vintage figures. Like I said, they're going to be cheaper than the vintage collection. And especially this Slave 1, $150. I think I bought my Palatoy boxed, complete Slave 1 for 120 quid. And that was a pain over the odds because I like the owner. And to me, I know I'm biased, but the vintage one looks a lot better than this brand new one. I know you get a stand and things like that, but Give me the original vintage one any day. Now I'm going to quickly go through a few other items that popped up at the Toy Fair. One line that's popped up that seems to be new, and it's the Mission Fleet series. To start off, we've got Ahsoka Tano Aquatic Attack Micro Vehicle and Figure, featuring 2 modes of vehicle play. They included 2.5-inch scale Ahsoka Tano figure, comes multiple points of articulation, and design and detail inspired by the Clone Wars animated series. Includes a micro vehicle figure and 2 accessories, available at most retailers. There's quite a few of these vehicles. There's the Anakin with his Starfighter, there's I think it's Commander Rex with his Walker, and the one that's probably going to be most popular is the Mandalorian with the child in tow on his speeder bike. Also on speeder bike is Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Boba Fett who looks like a rocket pack, Darth Vader in his TIE Fighter, Luke in his X-Wing, and also the Millennium Falcon. Yes, the Millennium Falcon. That is going to retail at $40 and is going to be available fall 2020. Blast off into a galaxy adventure with the Star Wars Mission Fleet vehicles and figures. These fun vehicles and figures allow kids to imagine action-packed battles between the dark side and the light side of the Force. Boys and girls will love creating daring smuggling missions, exciting chases and bold escapes with the Star Wars Mission Fleet Han Solo Millennium Falcon vehicle and figure. Featuring a repositionable projectile launcher, kids can pretend to take the battle of the ground with a detachable mini tank accessory that includes Han Solo figure I can stand on. I can remember that in film, can you? And this 2.5-inch scale Han Solo figures features multiple points of articulation with design and detail inspired by A New Hope. Includes the vehicles, figures and 7 accessories available at most retailers. Also in the kiddie line of figures, there is the Galaxy Adventures. Do you remember those? Yes, well, they've done an Ahsoka Tano now, 5-inch Ahsoka Tano, which I'll probably be getting that, to be honest with you. They retail at $10 and they will be available in spring 2020. Imagine Ahsoka Tano wielding 2 blue lightsabers with double lightsaber swipe action. Boys and girls can activate the Star Wars Galaxy Adventures 5-inch Ahsoka Tano figure's double lightsaber swipe feature by twisting the action figure's torso and releasing it. This 5-inch scale figure has multiple points of articulation and design and detail inspired by Star Wars movies and entertainment, including a figure and 2 accessories, available at most retailers. And you can also get a clone trooper to go with her. Another cool thing coming out for the kids is the Mandalorian Darksaber electronic lightsaber. It retails at $30 and is available spring 2020. In the Star Wars saga, this one-of-a-kind black-bladed lightsaber has been the symbol of Mandalorian power for generations. Imagine wielding a black-bladed lightsaber with exciting electronic lights and sound effects. It features electronic light effects, classic lightsaber effects, awesome battle sounds when the kids swing the lightsaber, and a crackling lightning sound and light effects when they hold down the button on the hilt. Imagine ruling over Mandalore with a Mandalorian Darksaber. Includes lightsaber instructions. It requires 3 1.5 volt AA batteries included. That's good of them. Available at most retailers. Also available in the Mandalorian range is a Baby Yoda operation game. And a game that's called Trouble, I think, is Frustration. That is also Baby Yoda on the cover. It's supposed to be Mandalorian, but it's got Baby Yoda on the cover. I did see a few other games like flip the frog into Baby Yoda's mouth and things like that. So there are countless number of Baby Yoda things coming out, as we know. But the best thing is going to be the Child Animatronic Edition plush toy, Entertainment Earth. You can pre-order it now from there, as I did try, but the shipping was horrendous. It does look very cute, and I am going to get one. It's $60, less than $50 shipping. It's out in December, apparently. You've got to wait till December for that. But it does remind me of a Furby, to be honest with you. So be wary about that one. You might hear a bit of a creaking in it when it's moving its head and its ears and everything like that, but who knows, we're still going to buy it anyway, aren't we? So that's it for Toy Fair. As I say, it's given me an optimism of the future of the toy industry, and especially Hasbro. And there's something I'm going to read out now that really clarifies the future. in some respects, especially for Star Wars. It's something that's gone under the radar, and I think a lot of people are not really aware of. So I'm just going to read this statement now. Agreement extends Hasbro's global toy and game license merchandise rights. Hasbro Inc. and the Walt Disney Company today announced a renewal of Hasbro's rights under its strategy merchandising relationship for major Disney entertainment properties Marvel and Star Wars. So it's both of them. Under the Marvel license agreement, Hasbro will continue to develop a wide range of toys and games for Marvel's global universe and more than 8,000 characters, including Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Black Widow, and Black Panther. The Star Wars license agreement includes the right to toys and games based on the entertainment like Star Wars Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, incorporating fan-favourite characters such as the child from The Mandalorian, affectionately known as Baby Yoda. The agreements are multi-year agreements, so it doesn't actually how many years, but multi-years, so it's in good hands for the foreseeable future. The agreements cover entertainment released during their terms for the respective franchises, including all film and television properties, as well as properties from Disney+. We are pleased to build our relationship with Disney and extend our agreement for Marvel and Star Wars franchises, said Brian Goldner, Hasbro's chairman and CEO. Disney celebrated franchises are consistently ranked top toy properties and provide expansive content for us to build upon for years to come. Our long-standing relationship with Hasbro has provided generations of Disney fans with quality play experiences, said Ken Potrock, President, Consuming Products Commercialization, Disney Parks, Experiences and Products. Continuing this successful collaboration with our Marvel and Star Wars franchises enables families and fans all around the world to immerse themselves in our iconic stories and engage with our rich characters. So there you go. I've been talking about it for quite a while now, whether Hasbro will keep the license, and they have done, which is good in certain ways. They're doing good things now. They're actually listening to fans, and they're making products that we are actually buying. Maybe not what the kids are playing with, but what we are actually collecting and buying. It was kind of worrying that the license was signed so late in the day. I don't know what the issue was there, and maybe it's why we saw so much Ghostbusters stuff coming out from Hasbro in the old Kennedy packaging, and then the new Black Series like Ghostbuster figures. So I'm going to leave you with a nice thought that you can carry on collecting your Black Series. So don't forget to like and share this podcast out. Check my YouTube channel out, my TeePublic, my Patreon, and maybe leave me a nice 5-star review. It all helps in the long run. So until next week, may the toys be with you.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend.